Before you scroll away, pause here for a second and really let this land. This is not just another passing message. It is for the person who has been holding everything together for far too long, smiling when needed, staying strong when no one noticed the cost, and carrying pain so quietly that other people almost forgot it was there. Someone sees that. Someone feels it more deeply than you know. This person does not look at you and see a challenge to win, a pretty face to admire for a moment, or a temporary feeling that will fade when life gets hard. They look at you and feel something steady, serious, and deeply personal. They want to be near you. They want to protect your peace. They want to make life softer for you. And more than that, they imagine a real future with you, not because they want to own you, but because loving you feels like something sacred to them. So stay with this. Do not skip this part. Because if you have ever wondered whether a love exists that wants to ease your pain instead of adding to it, what you are about to hear may reach a part of your heart that has been tired for a very long time. Not everyone will understand this kind of message. Some people turn away the moment truth gets too close. But if you are still here, that means something inside you is listening. And what comes next might help you see your past, your pain, and your future in a completely different light. This person wants to marry you, but not for shallow reasons. Not because of image, not because of status, not because they are empty and want someone to fill a hole inside them. Their wish runs deeper than that. Something in them is moved by your heart. They notice how much you have carried without complaint. They sense the private battles you do not speak about often. They see the calm face, the steady tone, the way you keep going even on days that feel far heavier than anyone else understands. And instead of being scared off by that depth, they feel drawn closer to you by it. Not with pity, never with pity, with respect, with tenderness, with a quiet kind of devotion that grows stronger the more clearly they see you. They think about you in a serious way, a grounded way, a love that does not need performance or attention to prove itself. It is patient. It watches carefully. It stays present. Yes, they notice your smile. Yes, they notice your beauty. But they also notice the moments when your energy drops just slightly, when your words say you are fine but your eyes look tired, when you go quiet in that way that tells the truth more clearly than anything you could explain. And every time they notice that, one thought returns again and again inside them. I want to be the place where this person can finally rest. I want to be the one who helps carry what they have carried alone for too long. If this already feels close to your heart, keep going, because this is only the beginning and the next layer goes even deeper. When they imagine a life with you, they are not daydreaming about pictures, applause, or a perfect event that lasts one day and then disappears into memory. They are thinking about ordinary life, real life. They picture the early mornings when you wake up already a little worn down. They picture the quiet nights when old pain rises without warning. They picture stressful weeks, hard conversations, heavy thoughts, and those private moments when your heart feels tired but you still try to act normal. They imagine being there for all of it. Not only the happy parts, not only the easy parts, all of it, the hidden parts too. They want to stand beside you in real time through peace and pressure, through hope and healing, through seasons that are gentle and seasons that test both of you. They imagine honoring you, protecting your calm and helping your breathing grow softer over time because you no longer have to hold every burden by yourself. They imagine a bond built on trust, honesty, patience, and the kind of understanding that sees beyond the surface. This matters, so really hear it. They are not trying to save you as if you are broken. They do not see you as damaged goods. They see your strength very clearly. They see someone who kept tenderness alive in a world that did not always handle them gently. That moves them more than they know how to explain. And because of that, they do not want to stand outside your life and admire you from a distance. They want to step fully into it and become a real partner inside it, one steady day at a time. Stay with me, because what makes this love different is not noise. It is depth, and depth changes everything. They see more than your calm outside, more than your capable side, more than the version of you that handles things and says, I'm okay, because it feels easier than telling the full truth. They see the hidden weight beneath that. They see the thoughts that wake you up late at night. They see the part of you that learned to smile while carrying disappointment, grief, and long stretches of emotional exhaustion. They notice how often you give more than you receive, how often you listen without asking to be understood in return, how often you make room for other people while quietly taking up less room yourself. And what they feel when they see this is not hesitation, it is devotion, a strong desire to stand beside you for real, to make your days lighter in practical ways and emotional ways, to become a place where your heart no longer has to stay defended every second, because what people need most is not praise, not attention, not loud excitement that fades as quickly as it arrives. What we need at the deepest level is to be truly seen, fully seen, not just the polished version we show the world so we can function, but the honest one, the tired one, the healing one, the hopeful one, the one still learning how to trust again. And this person feels pulled toward that full truth in you, not just your easy parts, all of you. That is why this feeling runs so deep. They do not want to marry you to gain a prize. They do not want to control you. They do not want to turn your love into something they can display. They want to care for you, protect the soft part inside you, help lift the strain you carry without ever making you feel weak for carrying it. Their love is not rushed, it is not careless, it moves with purpose. It understands that healing takes time, that trust grows slowly, and that old wounds do not vanish because someone made a beautiful promise one night. So they are willing to be patient, willing to stay through the whole process, willing to show up again and again until their actions say what words by themselves never can. I am here. I am steady. I am not leaving the moment things become real. And notice this because it matters more than it may seem. They do not want to reduce your independence. They are not threatened by your strength. Your strength is one of the reasons they feel so deeply for you. They admire what you survived. They admire the fact that you stayed soft after hard things. They admire the courage it takes to still believe in closeness after disappointment. That is why their love is not about competing with you or standing above you. It is about standing beside you. That difference is huge, especially if you have ever been loved in a way that made you feel smaller instead of safer. This person pays attention in a way many people do not. Most people notice behavior. They react to what is obvious. But this person listens for emotion. They hear the silence under your words. They notice the tiny pause in your voice. They catch the sadness inside a normal sentence that no one else would question. They feel when your energy pulls back even a little. And instead of demanding answers right away, they stay gentle. They stay close. They let calm presence speak first. Do not miss this part, because this is where healing starts to become real. Love becomes healing when it responds not only to what you do, but to what you feel. When it sees your humanity instead of only your performance. When it stays steady on the days you are shining and on the days you are barely keeping things together. If love only grows when you seem easy, cheerful, productive, and convenient, then it is not safe love. Safe love does not vanish when you struggle. It does not punish your tiredness. It does not become cold when you need comfort most. This person wants to love you in a way that says, you matter here because you are you, not because you are doing everything perfectly. And maybe that is why this message hits so deeply, because many wounds do not come only from heartbreak. They come from being loved conditionally, from learning that affection often came with tension, confusion, or hidden terms. This person likely knows pain too. That is part of why they understand you. They know that someone who has carried heavy emotional weight for years does not always need advice. Sometimes they need quiet. Sometimes they need room to breathe. Sometimes they need someone who can simply sit beside them without trying to fix the entire moment. They imagine a relationship where joy and sorrow can live in the same room without threatening the bond. A relationship where laughter and healing can grow together, where difficult days do not scare love away. They deepen it. They picture a peaceful future with you, not one full of mixed signals, guessing games, and emotional fog. They think about simple days with you, and somehow even those feel special to them. Morning coffee already waiting, quiet check-ins after a long day, a hand resting on your shoulder when your mind gets loud, a silence that feels warm instead of uncertain, a home where your nervous system can finally unclench because love no longer feels like it might disappear overnight. They want to solve problems with you, not against you. They want to build routines that make both of you feel safe. They want the everyday life, the ordinary life, the moments most people overlook. Because surface-level love is excited by peaks, real love prepares for Tuesdays. It asks, how can I make this person's life gentler? How can I protect their peace? How can I become someone they never have to beg for consistency from? That is what they imagine with you. Stability, loyalty, calm, still warm, still passionate, still alive, but rooted deeply enough to last. And maybe a part of you already knows this, even if past pain taught you otherwise. Stability is not boring. Stability is beautiful. Stability is what allows a wounded heart to exhale. They can tell that much of your pain did not come from one event alone. It came from being misunderstood over and over, from loving deeply and receiving little, from staying loyal while others stayed uncertain, from hoping someone would choose you clearly and fully only to meet confusion, distance, or changing moods. They see how exhausting that has been. They understand how it taught part of you to stay ready for disappointment, to hold something back, to keep one foot near the door just in case the floor falls out again. They understand why trust can feel expensive, why being chosen can feel hard to believe even when it is what your heart wants most. And instead of judging those guarded parts of you, they come near with gentleness. They are not asking you to become easier to manage. They are asking for the chance to love you honestly, to love you with matching actions, with reliability that removes doubt instead of feeding it, with a presence that helps your body learn a new truth. That closeness can be calm. That commitment can be real. That love can stay. Still, a love like this asks something from you too, not with force, not all at once, not on a deadline, but in time. It asks for something that can feel more frightening than pain itself. It asks you to let it in, not only the polished version of you, not only the capable version that can carry everything alone, the real version, the one still healing, the one that still gets scared when things start to feel safe, the one that still half expects love to leave the moment it becomes meaningful. This kind of love will be patient with that fear, but it will quietly ask you to stop preparing for its exit before it has even had a chance to stay. Because pain teaches us strange habits. It teaches us to brace for loss before love settles. It teaches us to keep part of ourselves untouched, so if someone walks away, at least not all of us gets destroyed. It teaches us to guard first and trust later, maybe much later. But this person is not standing at your door planning an escape. They are thinking about how to remain. And that changes everything. It changes the way your body feels sitting next to someone. It changes the meaning of silence. It changes what a quiet evening feels like when no one is using distance as punishment. It changes how deeply you sleep when the person beside you wants nothing from you except honesty and closeness. So if safe love feels strange at first, do not rush to call it wrong. Sometimes strange only means unfamiliar. Sometimes what feels new is exactly what healing looks like when it first arrives. Stay with that thought, because this next part may be the one your heart needed most. The deepest healing does not always happen alone. Sometimes it happens inside safe connection, inside a bond where you are seen without judgment, supported without control, loved without being managed. That is what this person wants to offer. Not perfection, not some fantasy with no hard days, but real presence, honest care, a steady heart beside yours in every season. They want to know the full truth of who you are, your history, your habits when you feel tired, your private wins, your fears you rarely explain, your silence when life becomes too much, your softness when you finally feel safe enough to stop pretending. And they do not move away from any of it. They move closer. Their love is quiet, but it is not weak. It is strong in the way roots are strong. It does not need loud promises to prove itself. It grows slowly. It holds. It stays. It shows itself in small things that end up meaning everything. Checking on you without being asked, remembering what drains you, protecting your peace when you are too tired to ask for help, helping you in ordinary ways without turning that help into a debt you must repay. These things may sound simple, but they are not small to a heart that has carried too much for too long. That is why this kind of love can feel life-changing. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is dependable. And dependable love is one of the rarest gifts a person can receive. This person is drawn to your strength, not because they want to challenge it, but because it tells the story of everything you survived. They know there were days when you held yourself together with nothing but willpower and quiet faith. They want to be the person who adds relief to your life, not more weight. They want home with them to feel like rest. They want calm to become normal for you, not a rare reward that only comes after total exhaustion. They want to notice your tiredness before you even have to name it. They want to share responsibilities without resentment. To love you in practical ways that guard your spirit. This is not show love, it is lived love. The kind that shows up in dishes, timing, tone, patience, effort, and daily care. The kind that keeps showing up after the first exciting phase has passed. They understand that vulnerability is not weakness. They know letting someone close is one of the bravest things a person can do. And they want to be worthy of that trust every single day, not only when romance feels easy and beautiful. They imagine marriage not as one giant event, but as a shared life built out of 1,000 faithful moments, waking beside you on quiet mornings, holding you when old memories hit out of nowhere, being the calm voice when your thoughts become crowded, being the steady hand when life suddenly feels too heavy. They picture the ordinary miracles, warm silence, shared routines, a look across the room that says, "I'm with you," a home that feels safe instead of tense, a love that does not disappear when life gets hard. They want to be one reason your shoulders slowly soften, one reason your breathing becomes easier, one reason you stop expecting disappointment around every corner, not because they promise a perfect life, but because they promise a truthful one, a caring one, a consistent one. They want to become the kind of partner whose actions answer your fears before your fears even know how to speak. Keep listening, because there is one more layer here, and it may be the most important one of all. This kind of love is rare. Yes, it takes maturity, it takes empathy, it takes a heart that values peace over power and presence over performance. But rare does not mean impossible. It means precious. It means it should be recognized for what it is. And maybe that is why this message found you now. Maybe because part of you is finally ready to believe that the love you needed was never too much to ask for. You were never too much to love, never too hard to understand, never too complicated to choose. The kind of love that truly wants to lighten your pain does not come with chaos, confusion, and loud promises that vanish later. It comes with patience, with steadiness, with a quiet but deep choosing that keeps choosing you day after day. When that love arrives, you will not have to perform for it. You will not have to shrink for it. You will not have to prove your worth every week just to keep it close. It will remain. It will respect the strongest parts of you and handle the most fragile parts with care. It will not rush your healing, but it will walk beside it. It will not erase your past, but it will stop your past from deciding every part of your future. And maybe that is what your heart has been waiting for all along. Not a perfect person, not a dramatic rescue, just someone real, someone steady, someone whose love feels like peace after years of noise. If this is touching something deep in you, do not ignore that feeling. Sometimes the heart recognizes safety before the mind fully understands why. Sometimes truth reaches the body first. And sometimes the life you thought was only a dream begins with the simple realization that calm love is possible. But let's go even deeper, because there is a difference between someone wanting to ease your pain and someone only wanting to play the hero for their own needs. The person we are talking about is not in love with being needed more than they are in love with you. That difference matters. They do not want your broken moments to become proof of their power. They do not want your vulnerability so they can feel important. They do not want you dependent, confused, or smaller. They want you safe. They want you stronger. They want you peaceful. Real love does not feed on your wounds. It handles them carefully. It does not make a show of rescuing you and then disappear when steady effort is required. It does not keep reminding you of how much it has done. It gives with warmth, not with hidden contracts. This person's desire to marry you is not based on fantasy. It is based on willingness. Willingness to learn you. Willingness to support you. Willingness to keep choosing care even after the moment stops feeling magical and becomes everyday life. That is what makes it so meaningful. They do not want to stand in your life as a savior figure above you. They want to kneel beside your pain and say, "You do not have to face all of this alone anymore." There is humility in that. There is tenderness in that. And there is also strength. Because it takes a strong heart to love someone in a steady way. It takes discipline to stay kind when days are heavy. It takes maturity to offer peace instead of games. So if you have known the kind of attention that felt intense but unstable, this may feel almost unbelievable. But the very reason it feels different is because it is different. It is not built on adrenaline. It is built on intention. And intention changes the whole shape of love. A person with good intention does not only ask how you make them feel in bright moments. They ask how they can protect what is tender in you when life becomes dark, confusing, or exhausting. They think ahead. They care about the emotional atmosphere around you. They notice what helps you breathe easier and what makes you shut down. They study your heart gently, not to control it, but to care for it well. They remember the little things because the little things are never little when someone has been hurt deeply. They remember what drains you, what comforts you, what kind of silence feels peaceful to you and what kind feels heavy. They learn your signals, they respect your limits, they become careful with your trust because they know trust is precious. And that is why their wish to marry you carries real weight. Marriage, to them, is not just closeness, it is responsibility, it is protecting what has been handed to them. It is being the kind of person who does not make your inner world more chaotic than it already has been. It is becoming a daily shelter, not a temporary excitement. Imagine what that means for a heart like yours, a heart that may have spent years bracing itself. A heart that may have gotten used to holding everything in because explaining it felt useless. A heart that may have learned to survive disappointment, but secretly still longed for gentleness. This person does not want you to keep surviving on scraps of reassurance. They want to give you a life where reassurance is built into the relationship itself, where steadiness is normal, where care is consistent, and where you do not have to translate mixed signals ever again. If you are still here, then you already feel that this message is not really about fantasy. It is about what love looks like when it grows up. So hear this final part with your whole heart. The love being described here does not ask you to betray yourself. It does not ask you to ignore your intuition. It does not ask you to rush because something sounds beautiful. Real love can wait for honesty. Real love can handle your caution. Real love understands why you may need time to believe it. And if this person truly carries the kind of feeling we have been talking about, they will not only say the right things, they will show them. They will show up in patterns, in patience, in tone, in daily effort, in how they handle your fears without mocking them, in how they protect your peace without making you feel guilty for needing it, in how they stay kind when life is inconvenient, in how they keep choosing truth over comfort. That is how you will know. Not through pressure, not through noise, through steadiness, through peace, through the quiet miracle of being loved in a way that does not make you tense. So if you needed this message today, let it remind you of something simple and powerful. You are not asking for too much when you want a love that feels safe. You are not unrealistic for wanting a partner who wants to ease your burden instead of adding more to it. You are not weak for wanting to rest in someone's presence. The right love will not punish you for that need. It will honor it. And somewhere, whether this is already forming in your life or still moving toward you, there may be a heart that is choosing you carefully, seriously, and with every intention to stay. Not for a season, not for a thrill, but for a life. And when that kind of love reaches you, you will feel the difference. Not because it is louder than everything else, but because for the first time in a long time, it will bring your heart peace instead of pressure.